So when you see a movie like The Knowing, and it's talking about BP oil before that happens, it talks about Japan before it happens. Trust, somebody is creating these things. These are not unnatural things going on. And every one of us are playing a role in that. Every one of us are allowing it. Just by putting these messages out there, putting these suggestions, are affecting you. They are influencing you in your fractal experience of you being right. You are not being as right as you think you are because you're lost in just a fractal piece of information. You're not seeing the whole picture yet. So you're easily motivated. And you're always going to be motivated towards the money. Every single thing here is about the money. Money is the root of all evil. If you've got it, I'd be getting rid of it as fast as I friggin' can to get that evil out of your life. Because you are responsible for everything that's going on in Japan. These earthquakes, volcanoes, we move matter so that matter will have a reaction. It's like if our planet was a glass table, we can live forever on a glass table. But you can crack that glass table and destroy what you live on. So we can have fault lines, we can have volcanoes, we can have all of these natural things going on in our planet, and we can live with them if we are doing the right thing. Our planet is here to serve us if we respect it, if we listen to what the planet needs. But we aren't doing that right now. We're doing everything to destroy it. And there's only a few at the top. You know, they do not have as much control as we all might think. We are just players in their game. So it very much is non-compliance in everything. Don't do things for profit. Money is not necessarily the root of all evil. It's how we perceive money, why we need money, what will it get us. It's the lack of love that makes us think money will bring love into our lives. But money could be the motivation that just makes things move. As long as we make sure everybody has money. Instead of making sure you have money, you turn that around and make sure everybody else has money. Then how is the game changed? If you live in great wealth, you are equal. You are the creator of great poverty. There are opposites, and one creates the other. So great wealth creates and is totally responsible for extreme poverty. So the ones that have the most, Warren Buffett is a good example, who do some research on him. He really wanted to change the economic system and how we use money. And he ended up changing an awful lot and got an awful lot of money. Now he's saying he wants to give all that money away. The only money he's given away is to himself, to his own investments, as he kills off most of the planet. He doesn't necessarily know he's doing it. He's influenced by money and by his fractal information, by his ego that makes him think the information that he thinks is a good idea is where he'll spend his money. He's actually a good guy. Bill Gates is actually a good guy. All of these evil people with money are actually good guys. They're just doing extremely evil things, but evil is not even that evil. It's the fractal information they're dealing with. They don't know how to listen. They don't know how to receive better information. They are heavily influenced. So, I'll give you more examples of how God works. when I was living through pure friggin' hell, and there was another time, like after this airbrush thing didn't really work out too well, although I got the airbrush, I I hated the process of these paintings. I mean, I was doing um, Robert Bateman type quality paintings on these hard hats. They were amazing, amazing pictures. There's some wealthy guy in the Middle East that has one of my hard hats that has, I think, 4 different Robert Bateman pictures on it. I'd really like to know who that guy is. My husband just gave the hard hat away. Didn't sell it, and it was my best picture ever. But what was happening is, because I'm a perfectionist, I hate myself all the time I'm doing it, because it's like, you're no good at this, you suck at this, and every negative thought I can say about myself as I'm doing it, because it's not looking perfect yet. And then I'm spending so much time on it that I was actually making 0.0000001 cent per hour. It just wasn't profitable for what I was able to. I'd have to sell these things for $1 million to make a living off of it, and the price just wasn't there, or I wasn't able to sell. Didn't see my own worth, I guess, in it, for the context that the types of people that were buying it weren't paying that price. I needed a different target market, which I wasn't well connected at the time. And personally, I was more focused on how horrible I was making myself feel while I was doing these paintings. It didn't feel like I loved doing it. So I just kind of knew that that wasn't really the right direction for me. So I'm on to another one. And computer programming seemed to be the way to go. It seemed to be, like I was listening to the forecast of the market, and they were saying computer programming, web design was the way of the future. There would be a huge demand for it. So I started learning computer programming. Before we bought our computers, I had this little connection with God again, and I said, okay, God, I don't want to start anything until I know for sure it's the right direction for me. Please let me know if this is a good direction. And God works through people. Magically, the next day, a friend had phoned me at like 7 o'clock in the morning and told me that, yes, Judy, you are doing the right thing. The markets are all saying that there's huge demand. Now, I never let anybody know what I was doing. I let everybody know that I was thinking about doing computer programming, but I never let anybody know I was questioning whether it was the right thing to do or not. Nobody knew that I was asking God, is this the right direction? But magically, this girl answers exactly what that prayer to God was, is I wanted to know if it's the right thing. The next day, somebody's saying, you're doing the right thing, which it's like a neon sign that says, God's talking to you directly at you. So I get into um, computer programming because of that. Now, it necessarily wasn't the best career for me to get into. Never. It actually probably caused most of the hell in my life, because it required so much of my attention. My kids didn't really understand or put the connections together of how much work I was putting into it, but it was a career that would have paid a lot of money, and I could have lived off of that career without needing any money from their father if I left. Um, but it was because I was a stay-at-home mom and I was always there for them. This was something I could do in the house. It was something that I wasn't 100% focused on them anymore. I was still in the house. They couldn't see that I was always there for them, but they couldn't understand why this thing was taking up so much of my time. And I did go to school. I only had a grade 9 education, went to programming school, graduated with an 89% during my first year of the divorce, which was the most abusive year of my life. So that was really cool. But I could never get a job in there because it was so friggin' demanding. The stress of getting a project done yesterday, and meanwhile I didn't really know too much of what I was doing. I'm living off of 1 hour sleep. I'm dealing with a lot of abuse from my ex. My kids are going through hell. It was just way, way, way too much coming at me that I couldn't actually function in that career. So although I asked God was a good direction for me to go into, and got these messages that it was, ultimately, um, what it ended up doing is it gave me a really good understanding about life, because I learned these business rules. No psychology could ever teach me that shit, but it was like we're all perfect little computer programmers. We are the program, and the influences in our universe are helping us make the rules to our program. Your left brain is all of the rules, the if statements that tells you what you're going to do next. All you have to do is change your programming. Change what it is you believe, and you'll take a completely different path. It's a matter of, it's not, I mean, you can make anything true. You know, if there's 36 versions of my divorce, which one is true? Well, it's the one that you want to be true. So if you want to create hell, trust that you want it to be hell. All you have to do is say, okay, I figure out what it is you believe to be true, and question yourself, well, do I really want to believe that? Do I want to believe that I have no control? Do I want to believe that I can't participate in the change? Do I want to believe the world is coming to an end? I mean, it's just something that you want to believe. That if you want to believe it, trust, you're going to create it. You're going to move matter to make that happen. But if you want to believe you can create heaven, you can be stronger than these elites. You can be stronger than any of this HARP equipment. You can gain groups that lead us all into a different path. You can believe you can get a better idea. You can believe you can get answers. It's all a matter of just changing what you want to believe. So I learned that from computer programming. Then, while I was taking computer programming, they would give me these impossible projects. It was like creating world peace. It's impossible. There's way too much, and it had to be done within a short period of time. Time is the motivation that makes you accomplish something. You have a business plan. You have the outcome, the desired effect. It's the same as a project. It tells you these are the requirements of what we want to accomplish at the end. This is what the end goal looks like. So if we want to create, heaven on earth, this is hell on earth, we want to create heaven on earth, we got to create, what does the end result look like? Does the whole world, because it's world peace, everybody has to have an experience of peace. So we have to have that description of what does it look like for everybody to be living a peaceful, loving experience. What does it take? Then you have all of the requirements, exactly like a project would. And then what they would tell me is, you got to do that all in 2 days. And it's like, okay, the first day is shock. Oh my God, this is impossible. There's nothing we can do. We're all globally in shock. As soon as you see some real bad shit come on, the first thing is, oh my God, chaos shock. You can't move, can't do anything. You are not accomplishing a damn thing. And then you get to work. And you know what? Every single time, I accomplished those projects. So it was like I was given world peace, and I was given a short period of time to do it in. I thought it was impossible, but yet I got it done. And I got high marks in everything that I did. So if I didn't take computer programming, I wouldn't know that we can create world peace. It's just a project. It's just an end goal that we all want. We all want world peace. It's just, what does it take to make it happen? And I look at some of these nonprofits, and it's like, are you really after what it is you want? Like, do you have a date? Do you have a description? When is the job going to be accomplished? And none of them have that. None of them have the end result of what they want. They're all not non-profits that are working towards world peace, but they can't describe what world peace actually looks like. They don't have a clue of what the requirements are, and they have no friggin' time limit, because they're all making their living off of it. If they actually created world peace, how would they make their money? They'd be out of a job if they created world peace. So that's why I'm kind of against any of these nonprofits, is because if they actually did what they said, they'd be out of work if they actually solved some problems. So Although I didn't make my income from taking computer programming, I sure learned a hell of a lot about life. So God did point me in the right direction. There's more to come.